everyone. I'm Letitia Pinzatori. I'm the host of this show, Live Your Dream, It's About You. I'm so excited today. I have some exciting guests. A couple of the guests have been on before. I have two people from the Source, the LGBT plus group over in Tulare County and Visalia. And then I also have Angel Galvez, and he's running for Board of Supervisor for Tulare County. And then I have Sarah with Breakout here in Fresno. So I'm very excited about this show today. And to give you a little background on myself, I'm a real estate agent with Keller Williams. I also do voiceover work, and of course I have this show. And I'd be glad to be of service if you need somebody, a real estate agent in Tulare County or otherwise. And then, but in terms of the show, if you wanted to contact me, you could contact me by email at lrpingitori, Pingitori, @gmail.com. Or my phone number, 559-281-4568. So anyway, without further ado, we'll have a commercial, and then I'll have my guests come on. Thank you so much for dreaming. Exactly. Thank you so much for being here with us. And remember, live your dream. It's about you.
I'm singing, we are alive. Oh, don't it feel so good?
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Live Your Dream. It's about you. And like I said, I have some exciting guests today. And right now I have Angel Galvez with me. And hi, Angel.
Hi, Lefty.
He's running for Tulare County Board of Supervisors in District 1, correct?
That's correct.
And he was here a couple of weeks ago, kind of gave a detail about his background and everything. But today, I just want you to, if you could give like a brief background just for people who haven't seen it. And then we can maybe talk about issues and, things that would be important to viewers.
Yeah, sure. So as Letty mentioned, it's a pleasure to be back, and thank you for welcoming me back to the show. My background is really originally from Tulare County. My parents migrated in the late 1960s to Lindsay, California. I grew up in Lindsay, Strathmore, and most of my adolescent life in Woodville Labor Camp. And then I ventured off to get an education, so I went to Fresno State, graduated, traveled a little bit around the world with the World Society of Victimology. And I came back, I went to Fresno Pacific University and graduated with an honors, and I got my master's degree in organizational leadership.
Wow, that's great.
I currently work with Tulare County Health and Human Services Agency and the mental health branch. I'm an administrator there with the executive team, and we work a lot with communities, and that's really the work that I do is just, working alongside all of the diverse members of our community in Tulare County.
Well, that's great. Like I said last time, I'm just so impressed with your whole background and just everything you've gone through. It really does seem like you would be the perfect candidate for the Board of Supervisors. And especially like you said, I think you've said before you work with like different programs and budgets and things like that, right?
Right. So, of course, in this economy that we're in today, we get the pleasure of wearing a lot of different hats. And so one of the things that I do for the county is ethnic services. Another thing is community planning, and as well as I do cultural competency training and policy for the department. And I also represent the department with media relations and things like that. So we get to really learn from all of the different things that the organization does. But more importantly, we get to work with, or at least I get to work with the community and cultural brokers within the community that represent either specific ethnicities or cultures or faiths. We have strong relationships with our faith-based communities, with our LGBT community. We have ethnic services, also extends to African American, Native American. So strong relationships around those members of our community in Tulare County.
Wow, that's great. That's just a broad spectrum. That's
It
wonderful.
It is.
And then if you could tell the viewers and voters, in case they're unclear about what district you're actually running in.
Yeah, sure. So District 1 incorporates the incorporated and unincorporated areas of East Visalia from Santa Fe Road, from north as far as Houston Avenue to as south as Caldwell or Cartmill. And then that carve-out extends east into Farmersville, Exeter, Three Rivers, where I live at, Lemon Cove, the eastern, northern part of the Sierra Mountains. It works its way all the way back down south into the areas of Lindsay, Strathmore, Woodville, all those areas where I grew up at, and some of the other unincorporated areas like Plainview and just some small, Tooleyville is one of those small unincorporated areas, rural areas. So it is very rural. The geography is primarily ag-based, and so all of that area is District 1.
Wow, that's a
It's
lot of
huge.
land. It covers a lot, but it's so exciting that you'd actually be serving in the area where you grew up as well.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. That I think that was really what stemmed. That's what drove me to run. I was watching the seat for a while, and my interest in politics really wasn't because of politics, so I kind of avoided it for a long time. But then I decided, we need somebody who's going to be fair and honest, somebody who's already doing the work, working with community, working with the diverse diverse members of our community to really see some significant impact. And so I felt that when I heard of the few candidates that were lining up to run, I threw my name in the hat, and I figured, why not? I think I could bring a good thing to the team that currently oversees the Board of Supervisor agendas, and so we'll see how that goes.
So basically, you're living your dream.
I am living my dream. This was sort of, you never know your path until you're in it, but I
Right.
think this is part of the dream that I once couldn't think of, but now I'm kind of realizing it, so it's kind of neat to experience all of this. We are at the end. I think there's a week, or it's June 7th, the final, so we're looking 2 weeks
Okay.
before the final results are in, and we'll see where we're at.
Okay. So then, since we are so close, what would you like to tell the voters in terms of like issues or anything that
Yeah,
your
sure.
platform or?
I think it's important. My platform really is strong commitment for 3 areas. Water infrastructure, because we know water is a huge issue.
Definitely.
Not only for our county, but obviously for the whole Central Valley, which is huge. The other issues, or the other commitment that I have, is public safety and the health of our communities. Just working in mental health, I can tell you that mental health is very prevalent in Tulare County. So is diabetes, and so are many other things. But mental health, if you're not addressing it, it leads to a loss of life. It leads to a loss of self. And so just learning from all of the constituents and learning from all of the people that I have had the pleasure to work with is that this is number one on their end. And so I make it always an effort to really lend cultural and linguistic competent services to all these individuals. But also fiscal responsiveness, just working in budgets and being fiscally sound and understanding budgets and knowing how to work with budgets and making informed decisions as to whether or not you cut a program or you allocate more money to a program is extremely important, because the Board of Supervisors make those decisions all the time.
Right.
And you really need an elected official who understands how to do these types of things, because otherwise, you really lead the county into the wrong way fiscally, and we need to be very aware of that, and we need to be making that very important. You mentioned some of the issues that sort of plague our communities, and aside from those, health is huge. Water infrastructure, we know. I'm already working on some projects for water. East Porterville is one of the areas that I think it's community-wide aware of the issues that happen there with the drought, but also gangs and violence and drugs. I grew up in neighborhoods where this is still very prevalent, and the county right now purchased a facility to do a new to address AB 109 and Prop 47 is a new facility where $100 million will be allocated. So you got North
Wow.
County and South County with a new prison to really deal with some of these issues that we're having in terms of gangs and drugs and violence in Tulare County.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's huge. And so if you could maybe tell people, give them a little explanation about what Prop 47 and you said AB 109?
Yeah, so Assembly Bill 109 is really just prison realignment. And
Okay.
you can pull that up really easy in Google, and it breaks it down for you. But prison realignment, and it goes hand in hand with Prop 47, which is low-level nonviolent offenders. So what you're seeing is offenders that are incarcerated in prison, if they're deemed nonviolent, and I use quotes all the time, because these individuals will be let out on the street, and oftentimes these individuals don't have a specific program they're tied to, so they're kind of free in a sense to be in the street. A lot of them struggle because of their background, and I'm not saying let's lock all these individuals up and throw the key away. No, that's not what I'm about. What I'm about is being able to really address the issues that go hand in hand with these low-level nonviolent offenders, and they begin to live in the street, they begin to abuse drugs and alcohol, and then that perpetuates a recidivism or crime. And so because they're deemed nonviolent, if with this proposition, if they are caught with, say, a gram of meth or any personal use of drugs, they are not incarcerated immediately. In fact, they're let go. And I know that because I did some ride-alongs with our local police department the last month with the various local police departments, and I saw that a lot of these calls were mental health related, were suicide related, and were alcohol and other drug crimes or soon-to-be crimes. And these officers kind of have their hands tied because they can't necessarily intervene in a way they would want to, and that's to put these criminals behind bars and then work with them there in the system, and then transition them out of the system adequately. So we kind of have these issues going on right now, and I know that the Tulare County Sheriff's Department, Mike Boudreaux, put in the injunctions to really deal with the gangs, which is a great thing for our county. But then again, we have all these other drug and alcohol problems that are really plaguing our communities at this point, and that's really hard for officers to deal. So that's something that I am getting behind and working out some strategies as to how we can better do that. But the prison that the county, the $100 million that's going to the prison, is going to be to really build a North and South County. So the Porterville facility is already approved, and that's going to be really great for us because not only will it provide the space that we need to house some of these individuals, it also is going to promote the economy by having jobs available for qualified people. Education and training is something that I've done for the county too for a number of years, and that's essential to really bringing on qualified staff onto these prisons. So that's going to be a huge project that the Board of Supervisors is going to undertake.
Wow.
Coming into it, and so you really need somebody who understands all of that, so that you're not really learning the process while you're elected. You're really hitting the ground running when you're in.
Right. So somebody who can get in there and actually deal with the issues.
Right.
Right. And it sounds like that's what you want to do. It wasn't like you chose to be a politician. It just,
Right.
you just walked into it, sort of like you said, it unfolded because of your passion to help people in the community, your job, your background, your experience, all
Right.
of that. And like you were talking about the Prop 47, it's just got mental health issues all over the place. People with
Right.
addictions and
Right.
I think you said suicide,
Right.
stuff like that. And so that totally makes, I mean, I can really see more and more every time I meet you.
Yeah.
I can see more and more what a great candidate you are and what a great asset you would be to the Board of Supervisors.
Oh, well, thank you. And you mentioned suicide, and this, statistically speaking, 22 veterans die each day by suicide. We shouldn't have not one veteran die at all, period. And so, it upsets me to see these stats, but they're very real. Even in mental health, they're very real. And it's just enough is enough.
Right.
And I feel that, if a Board of Supervisor, and there are a few Board of Supervisors, I'll say that, our current Board of Supervisors that are very supportive with these things. And so, I just want to continue that support and continue that growth so that we see positive impact in our communities. Absolutely.
You know what, and when you were talking about the suicide rate with the veterans, it just gave me goosebumps because that's one issue. I mean, just veterans we just don't honor them enough. And then also to my last Monday, I don't know if you had a chance to catch it. I know you're busy, but I had a show about one of the people that was here, one of the guests. he was a combat veteran, and he lost his leg, in
Yes.
service. And he was talking about, he started this ourheroesdreams.org.
Yep.
So I would totally tell anybody, please support this organization. It's incredible. The name of the individual who was here was Justin Bond. And again, it's called ourheroesdreams.org. And he was talking about, he has a service dog. That dog, that just the work that they do to try to prevent suicides. He said that the dog had they'd come back from an event, and the dog had to, rescue people from, they were in the process of killing themselves. I mean,
Right.
And that is just so heart-wrenching. I mean, these
Sure.
people served our country.
Absolutely.
I mean, we have the life we have because of them,
That's true.
So when you say that, that's another synergistic type thing, and it's
Yeah.
it just gives me goosebumps, because you are so right.
Yeah.
And that is so true.
And the one thing that I guess we'll kind of conclude with this, I know my time is short today, is that every individual, whether they be a veteran or an individual suffering from anything, is just, let's treat these individuals like individuals with dignity and respect.
Yes.
And we'll get somewhere. And let's include them in the process. Like you mentioned, this veteran, he started something.
Yes.
And every veteran has a different experience, even if they were in the same infantry dealing with the same trauma. They're going to experience trauma differently, and so we just need to be sensitive to that. We need to be mindful that we can learn from these individuals, not the other way around. And that's what I do as part of the community planner for the county, for the department, is we engage in the stakeholder process where we allow the stakeholders to really teach us and to really lead the way with us, and then I go back with the executive management team, and we look at everything, and then we develop new policies if we need to, or mechanisms to really make things more fluid, more streamlined, more easily accessible for our populations that we serve. And so I'll end it with this. I really like what you said about veterans, and one of the things that I try to teach my kids, I can't do it all the time, but I try to do it sometimes, is if you see a veteran or a police officer, because police officers, they too sometimes I think go underappreciated, is pick up their bill. We eat out a lot. We eat out all the time, and so if you see a veteran or a police officer or a servant, a public servant, pick up their bill. I mean, it's not that much, and I think that the more we do that, the better future we will have as a community, a diverse community. Really loving the multicultural that's in our community. And so hopefully these presidential elections don't continue to cause this division, but I think at the local level we have more control than what they think, and it's really about serving people, serving everybody with love and just respect, and so I think we'll get somewhere with that.
I just love what you said. It is so true. It's about the individual, looking at the individual, and then really listening to their needs, and not, like you said, trying to mold them into something. It's kind of like really finding out what the needs are. And you're right. It's about love and respect. I say, spreading love and light. I mean, it's such an honor to have you here again.
Well, thank you. It's my pleasure.
And I really, really, I wish you the best, and I hope you win, because I think you'd be a great, great asset.
Well, that's great. And if I feel like a winner already, regardless of what the polls will say or what the election brings up. I will say this publicly, that I will not give up. I will continue to run. I already work for the county, so I'm having fun doing what I'm doing now. I just want to be able to bring more impact, and so that's really the reason why I'm running. So if I don't get in this time around, I'll hopefully get in the next time around. But my goal is to make it this time. Why not?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
You go.
Well, good. Thank you.
Thank you so much
Appreciate it.
again for being here, and I appreciate
likewise.
it.
My pleasure.
I'm very honored.
Well, thank you. Feeling is mutual.
Okay, so we're going to go for a quick commercial break, and then we'll have our next guest.
We're not here forever, so live and laugh and love while you can. Grab somebody by the hand and say, we are alive. Oh, and it feels so good.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Live Your Dream. It's About You. And I'm so excited having our next guests, Brian Poth and Nick Vargas with The Source. And I'm so glad you guys are here. Actually, Brian was here on my very first show, And I'm just so excited because of the development of the show and, more importantly, the development of their organization. And so without further ado, I'm just going to have Nick and Brian just go with it and tell us what's going on and everything else.
Great. Well, thank you for having us on.
Yeah,
Excited
thank you.
to be here. I'm Nick Vargas. I am the current treasurer of The Source. And since you had that first show with Brian, we've done a lot. We had our grand opening, which over almost 400 people came to.
Wow.
Well received. Such a blessing of that day. So we had the grand opening. We've had a brunch as a fundraiser. We've had our first couple of weeks of open office hours, which people have been coming in, been utilizing the space. It's just been so busy in the last since Brian was on here. What else have we done?
Yeah, I think Nick's right. I mean, we've been very busy. When we talked last, I think we had just found a space. We were still in our first fundraising campaign, and if you'd like to donate, you can still do that through thesourcelgbt.org. But we were sort of this idea of something, and now we're actually in our space. We've had a couple groups already. We've hosted Trans Emotion, which is a nonprofit here in Fresno. They had a group in Visalia a couple weeks ago. They were our first outside group. So if you have an organization that would like to host a group or something in Visalia, please come to us. That's what our space is for. As long as you're LGBT friendly. But we're open. We're a community organization that wants to outreach to other community organizations, and so we had a brunch yesterday, which sold out. You were there. Thank you for coming.
Oh, it was so exciting. I mean, just the whole turnout. I was like, and I ran into people from different walks of life, and straight, everybody. Just a variety of people. It was great. So I was so excited. Anyway, go ahead.
No, and it was great. It's so nice to see it. It was so nice to see it sell out. It was our first. It was our first brunch, and we plan to do one again in June. So our next brunch will be at the Lunchbox. Our first one was at Tazaria yesterday. So every month we'll be in a new location. And that, again, is another way to work with our community, inspire people to come out in support of LGBT issues. And so our next brunch will be Lunchbox, June 26th. But before then, we'll be participating in Fresno Gay Pride, which is June 4th. We'll be walking in the parade and having a booth for information and passing out T-shirts if they're printed in time. And then on June 18th, the Saturday before Father's Day, we will have the Source's first Pride Plus picnic in the park at Plaza Park in Visalia. It'll be from 11 to 1 p.m. and it's a free event. If you want to come out and support us and have some burgers and some hot dogs and just some good fun, please join us. We'd love to have you.
And I think when you were here last time, I don't think you even had a location at that point. So this is so exciting. You have a place, and maybe if you could give everybody, one of you guys could give the address, and so people know where to find you.
Sure. I was gonna say Nick.
I know the address. It's 208 West Main Street. It's in downtown Visalia. It's in Montgomery Square building. People know it by Tazaria is in that building. What you do is you go into the building, go downstairs, all the way back. You will see the Source sign. We're there Tuesday through Friday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. and then on Saturdays from noon to 3 p.m. Those are our open hours. Outside those hours, again, we host groups and have meetings there.
And I think I had shared last time, my sister is a therapist with Turning Point, and she's definitely very interested in, in getting involved or finding out for how it can, benefit her clients. And she has a variety of clients that would really benefit from it.
Right, and since we talked, I mean, we've had so many therapists reach out to us because of either they want to work with LGBT clients or they have clients that need services that like groups or social networking events that we can offer. We also, we have within the first week, that opening week, we have 40 plus volunteer applications put in. So
wow.
The community is really behind us, and I think our first week we helped 16 clients that week to services that they can use. So we're already feeling like that it's really working out, and we're really grateful for all the support that we've gotten from everyone in the community. And like you said, Turning Point's reached out to us. We're partnering with many organizations like ACT for Women and Girls. We're looking at Turning Point 2. We're also talking to mental health services, and we also have our own addiction recovery specialist at the Source and a clinical advisor, Bev Anderson, who's working with many therapists in the area to get them up to speed and get the training that they need to be able to not only want to provide services to, especially transgender people, but to be able to really be knowledgeable and sensitive and be experts in the field instead of just the desire, but actually really training people to get up to speed.
You know, that makes a lot of sense too. It's just kind of like, it kind of segues into what Angel was talking about, kind of like really getting into what people need, you know, and understanding and not trying to, you know, assume or put people in boxes, you know, just find out listening to them, find out what they need. And because you're right, the passion is great, but you have to take it to the next step of practicality of what do you need? How can I help you? And I just think it just gives me goosebumps. I mean, it's just so exciting what you guys are doing. I'm just so honored. It was so great being part of that fundraiser and seeing people, you know, because as you know, I have an attorney background as well, and so seeing people I haven't seen in years, and they're there, and it's just from all the way across the board, it was just amazing. The synergistic effect, like my one friend said, you know, divine choreography. You know, it's just all coming together. It's just, and you guys are just wonderful. You're great leaders, and it's just perfect.
And like you said, you don't really know what people need until they ask. And
Exactly.
so what we're learning to do as an organization and as people is really listen to people and sort of try to fill in the blanks where they need help. And so this last week we had a young woman come in, and she needed help with food, and she needed help with transportation. And you know, I can't as an organization yet provide that, but I have access to services that already exist, like Bethlehem Center, who they give boxes of food to people who are homeless or in need of food, and also was able to just provide this person with a bus pass for the day, you know, so that she could go get what she needed, because it's really about empowering a person to be able to take care of themselves so that they can take care of their community.
Oh, yeah. And it's a win-win all the way around. It really is. You help somebody else, and it comes back in turn, and then also they could be a better asset to the community. I mean, it's a win-win. It really, I don't know, I'm just, I just can't say enough. It just is so wonderful. It really is. And I could just see how moved you are. And I mean, I'm really moved too, but it's just it's just such a great thing. And it's just especially the synergistic effect of just getting on just different guests that come on. Because as you know, like I said, the whole premise, the way the whole show came about, it's just the way it evolved. And I'm not going to go into the details of that. But basically, it's just wanting to support people and organizations and just spreading love and light. That's what it's about. You know, and that's what you guys are doing. It's absolutely incredible. It really is. And so I'm just so excited to be able to be a part of this, to help you promote, to support. I mean, I want to get involved as much as I can as well. And I love the fact that, you know, it's everybody. You don't have to be, you know, gay or transgender or whatever. Anybody, you know, I'm straight. It doesn't matter. You know, it's great. I just love you guys.
You're the plus in the LGBT plus.
I like that.
The plus for us is support. You know, anyone who wants to support us in any way we can, they can. We're happy to have you.
Yeah, and like you coming to the brunch, that's a way to support us.
Right.
You know, we're going to have Pride in the Park. Everybody's welcome. It's a free event. That's a way to support us. Liking our Facebook page.
Yes.
That's a great way to support us.
Donations, right?
Yeah,
of course,
always
obviously donations. Donations. That's an amazing way to support us. But really having...
Buying coffee
at Tazeria. It's really good coffee.
Tell everybody about that special blend that they made for you guys.
It's called the Rainbow Blend.
Oh,
to
how
support the
perfect.
Source. It's located, it's its own customized blend of coffee.
And it's great. I had it yesterday.
And it's great. It's smooth, and what they did is they added
strong.
a little bit of, what makes it strong is they blended some white coffee in there.
Wow.
And the lighter the roast of a coffee, the
more caffeine it has.
That's true.
It packs a little bit of punch, but that's good. We need
We need punch.
We need some punch. And that's another way to support us. again, to your point about it being a community effort and everybody being welcome, on our opening day, we had older people, we had younger people, we had some kids that using the living room in the background, having a great discussion.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
great and I got to just listen to them, and that made me feel really good. And then I also got to talk to some of our elders and see how they were excited about the space. And then my parents were there, and just people walking by the street, you know, coming for the First Friday Art Show, they came by, and it was really heartwarming to see that this thought that existed, that this thought had materialized in such a short time.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's a community, we've created a community space.
Right.
So.
It's just so incredible.
And in fact, we've had to start renting an extra space already for some of our groups because we didn't know what to expect. And what's interesting is that we're overflowing, you know,
And that's
with
great.
support and with people who really want to come and join in the conversation and get you know, a lot of the groups already are already looking for how they can serve the community. So it's kind of built this idea of you know, we're not just a self-serving organization. We want to serve our clients, but we also want to outreach to other orgs and help them so that we're a beneficial presence in our community. We're not just a part of a larger community, but we're actually serving the whole.
Oh, definitely. I would never call you guys self-serving. You guys are just definitely not. That would not be an adjective. Oh, no. No, definitely not. So if people wanted to get a hold of you guys or the organization or whatever, what should they, I mean, I know you said the address. Maybe tell the address again or the website or whatever you want to say.
TheSourceLGBT.org. Like us on Facebook or give us a call at 559-429-4277.
Okay, so are there any closing remarks? I want to make sure I give my other guest enough time. So any closing remarks you have before we close? Or
Just thank you.
No, thank you.
Well, you're so welcome. And like I said, I'm honored that you guys are here, and it's great to be able to promote this. And so you guys check it out, donate, get involved with the, you know, volunteers. I'm sure you don't turn down volunteers, right?
No.
So, okay, we're going to go to a commercial break, and thank you so much.
And explore. We're not here forever. So live and laugh and love while you can. Grab somebody by the hand.
Welcome back, everybody, to Live Your Dream. It's about you. I'm so excited about introducing our next guest. It's Sarah Clem with Breakout. Thank you so much for
Thanks
being
for having
here.
us. Yeah, definitely.
And she has such a unique business that I don't even want to try to describe it. I'm just going to let her explain it.
Okay. Well, what Breakout Fresno is, it's what is called an escape room. And so the idea came from, and originally they were video games, so just kind of point-and-click video games that then were made into live games in Japan and Europe and are popping up all over the country. And what it is basically is you're placed in a room with a group of friends or coworkers or family in kind of a themed room. So they all have their own storyline and they have their own plot and things like that. And you literally have 60 minutes to then break out. So
Wow.
you're looking around the room for puzzles and clues and hints and working with your team to open locks and work your way through the progression of a game. And all while the clock is running. It's something that then is monitored, and so we're able to watch the game. There's video, you know, we have cameras in the room, so then if people get stuck at a certain spot in the game, we can feed them a clue just so they can kind of don't get frustrated and keep going through the game. So yeah, it's just a great way to, it's a little bit, a type of entertainment that's more, you're actually a part of it. It's a little bit less passive, so you know, shows and movies are great, but this is something you actually get to be a part of, and you are the game, so it's really fun.
So it's actually like being part, like you said, like kind of like a video game, sort of, in a
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, you really are. You're kind of just right in the middle of the room, and you know, we basically say go. There's not a lot of direction, and so it's just figuring it out on your own. And there's a very steep learning curve the first few minutes. A lot of people don't know what they're doing, and then as they get into it, it's a natural progression and just a great form of entertainment.
And it sounds like it's a really good adventure. And I could just see people who are maybe detective type people,
Yeah.
or people who are like love a mystery or something like that, puzzle,
Yeah,
like
definitely.
you said.
Yeah, definitely gamers or puzzle people, or just, you know, something to do with friends and family. It's just a completely unique experience, and something we haven't had anyone that hasn't had a great time. And the age range is huge of people that can enjoy it, and so it's a lot of fun.
So what is like the youngest and the oldest, or is
Well,
there?
the youngest, I would say probably the youngest would be probably 12 with adults, just because the complexity of the puzzles get a little bit more advanced. We've had groups of like birthday parties of like 16-year-old guys where they just had a blast. So
Wow.
easily they can solve everything and do everything. And then we've had groups, well beyond their, in their 60s and up. So I mean, it's something where whole families can and really enjoy it.
Wow, that's neat. I
Yeah.
could just see even it popped into my head like a reunion or something.
Yeah.
Like some family reunion or whatever, or
Yeah.
high school or whatever, and people are doing this thing and just having
Yeah,
fun.
I mean, it's really great for, people will come on dates and just do it as a couple, but definitely, you can come with a group of friends. We've already had a lot of birthday parties and then team building, so companies will bring, a group of their employees to run through, and so it's always interesting to see how different people work together, and work their way through the puzzles and work, try and break out.
And when you were talking about, you said something about a camera. So just in case anybody was worried about, is it safe or whatever? It sounds like it's totally monitored.
It's totally safe. It's not a scary situation. It can get intense just because of the
Competition.
time frame,
Yeah.
and the clock staring at you. But it's very, very safe. It doesn't really take any physical strength or anything like that. Everything is solved with brain power. And we're able to monitor. The whole reason we monitor the games is just to make sure people are enjoying it, and in case they get stuck on a particular puzzle or problem, we can feed them a clue.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, definitely.
so it's really fun.
And then, if you could, I know you brought in a clip or a video, but
Yeah.
before we get it to that, if you could just say maybe how you got into this. I mean, if you want to share that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I had played a little bit online, so I was familiar with escape rooms or escape games. And my husband and I were on vacation in Philadelphia, actually, and we kind of had a down afternoon where we had a chunk of time. And so I saw it was called Escape the Room, and I knew kind of what it was from video games. I didn't know that you could go physically and do one, and so we just went and played. And instantly, the first thing my husband said was, "I want to do it again." Like he wanted to play another game, like right then. I was like, "We're in Philadelphia. We need to like see some of the
We're
city."
on vacation.
But yeah, so I mean, it became. We talked about it the rest of our vacation, and we just felt like this is something the Valley Fresno could really use. Just a different form of entertainment that. It's just a blast. It's just very addicting. Like I said, it just all people types. It seems like have enjoyed it, ages and groups, and so it is something that it just has been really fun. We've had really great feedback, and so it's been a good turnout so far.
And where are you located?
If you're from Fresno, if you're familiar with Fresno or have lived here, it's behind Herb Bauer's. A lot of people know that as a store that's
right.
been there a very long time.
Blackstone, right?
Yeah, Blackstone. There's a little street called Escalon right at that corner. And so we're basically behind Herb Bauer's and Yoshino's back in a little industrial area there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Okay, well, I want to make sure we get to the clip. So,
Okay. Yeah,
if,
so it's just like a 60-second promotional video that kind of summarizes it and will give you an idea of what it's like.
okay, sounds good. Well, that was exciting. Thank you so much for bringing that video. Could you
Yeah.
maybe, if you wanted to add some information about that?
Yeah, I mean, the video can look pretty intense, but that's mostly just the time and the music and that type of thing. It is something we've had people say, is it scary? And it's not. We're very family friendly. We've kind of opted to go that way. We might spruce things up a little bit around Halloween if people want a little fear factor, but otherwise, yeah, it really is just a great opportunity to try something different. Again, great for team building, easily accessible if you want to like book corporate events or anything like that, then you can go to the website. That's where a lot of our information is, and so it's something that it's breakoutfresno.com. We have a Facebook page that you can go to and check out and see what we have going on.
So would that be the best way? Like, would you want to give a number or anything like that for them?
You
to
know,
get a
all
hold
the
of you?
reservations, everything is booked online.
Okay.
And so you can go on there and see the rooms that we have available. Right now we have 3 rooms available. There's one that's kind of a Cold War military theme. And so that one we have, the one cool thing about that is we actually have 2 identical rooms of that game. And so if you have a group of 10 to 12, you actually can split up and then race. So it adds
Wow.
a dimension of not only breaking out but racing. And then we have a Western Wild West theme room where you can either play as a cowboy or come back and play as an outlaw. So those are 2 very unique games as well. And so it's something that all the booking's done online. You just go to breakoutfresno.com, kind of pick the day that you would be interested in playing, and then you book the room online. Currently, we're open Thursday and Friday nights, and then have extended hours on Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Wow, how exciting.
Yeah, we're just, we're a completely family-owned and at this point operated business, so it's something where our hours are limited because we all have full-time jobs, and so it's something that we just have had an amazing time doing and wanted to offer it to Fresno, and so I've been excited to
But
bring it.
I could see this thing expanding because you haven't been open that long, right? So I
Yeah,
could just
no.
see this just totally
Yeah,
evolving.
we just opened April 16th, so I think we're
Wow.
on 6 weekends maybe now, and the turnout has been really good. We've been pretty well booked, a lot of interest, a lot of calls, a lot of companies booking events and things like that. So we've done some nonprofit organizations. We've had like the Boys and Girls Club and the future firefighters, so the young firefighters come out. And so it's just been a blast just to see the community come together and come in and out, and just really the goal is just to have a really good time. Give people a really good hour of entertainment.
Yeah, I was just, as you were saying that, I could see like birthday parties going on. I mean, I could just
Yeah,
see a
yeah.
variety of stuff.
Yeah, definitely. We've had parties, we've had anniversaries celebrated already, and so
Wow.
in just a short time, people are really utilizing it quite well. I think, in other countries, a lot of people use it for bachelorette parties or bachelor parties or with groups like that as well. So it is something.
Wow, how
that's-
exciting. I mean, I just
Right.
get the feeling you're living your dream. I mean, it was a dream
Yeah.
that kind of came up when you were on vacation,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, I had no idea. And yeah, it's just something we kind of talked about and then kind of looked into. We're actually working Breakout. We're working with almost as a partner, not a true franchise, but a partner with Breakout Manchester in England.
Oh, wow.
So the company we're working with is across the ocean, and so it's something that
That's exciting.
yeah, we just kept looking into it, and then we decided to kind of pull the trigger, and it's been well received. So we just hope it's something that will continue to be successful. And if people keep coming, then we'll change the storylines up and have new rooms and different stories. So right now we're just kind of getting our feet under us and seeing how it goes.
So it sounds like you're willing to accommodate and change with the needs of the guests.
Yeah, for sure. Everyone who comes in, because we've already had people that have been repeat customers, like they've come and played one, they had such a good time in there, and they're back. And so they have one more room to do. We have 3 options, and so their first question always is, when are you going to have a new room? And so we hope, if the demand is there, that in 6 months or so that we can, kind of rotate one in and shuffle things around. And so yeah,
That makes
we'll
sense.
see how it goes.
Yeah, that's great. Oh, I'm just so excited for you.
Yeah, thank you.
And I have to say, it's an honor that you were here on the show and helped
Yeah,
me
no,
promote
we're very
your business.
appreciative and thankful for letting us come on and just share who we are and what we're doing and what it's all about.
So, okay, so everyone check out Breakout Fresno. This is just an exciting thing.
Yeah.
It just seems like it's a lot of fun, and
That's a blast.
it's just, it's unique.
Yeah.
I love it. So, okay, everybody, we're going to have a quick commercial break, and then we'll come back to close the show. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
Welcome back, everyone. It was an exciting show today. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and I hope you were touched as much as I was. Anyway, like I indicated before, the name of the show is Live Your Dream. It's about you. So if you want to come on, you want to talk about your business, nonprofit, a fundraiser, a cause, whatever's near and dear to your heart, an art, music, whatever it is, please reach out to me. And you can either call here the station, Central Valley Talk, or go on centralvalleytalk.com, or contact me by email or the phone number, which is 559-281-4568. And I would just love to have you on and promote your business or your cause, whatever it is. Or, like I said before, if you you need help with buying or selling or investing in real estate, give me a call as well. 559-281-4568. And again, it's Letitia Pingatore, and it's Live Your Dream. It's about you.
CentralValleyTalk.com